Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone, wherever you may be tuning in from. My name is Niels. I'm one of the directors and co-founders of the CLN network. Welcome to our second virtual CLN conference. Before we start with our program, may I recommend that you pin the program screen 1. So to do that, please go to your gallery view or the view where you see all the boxes, and you will see one box which is labeled program screen 1. You go to that program screen 1 and then you go to the top. There's 3 little dots there. You click those 3 dots and then you press pin. This is our main screen for this program today. So to start off today, we will have a 10-minute community open mic that is open to everybody, and Christian will be hosting the session for now. So Christian, over to you. Good morning from Canada.
Thank you, Niels. Good evening from the Philippines. Hi, everyone. This is Chris. I'll be hosting the community open mic this year. So let me go through the gallery view and call out some names. And when I call your name, please unmute yourself and give us a short introduction about yourself, where you are, and give us an update of how things are going. So let us start with Tony. Tony from Sri Lanka, right? Tony, can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi, Christian. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Right. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Tony De Oliveira, Wings Logistics, based in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Unfortunately, the news about Sri Lanka is not the best with regard to the virus and the pandemic that's going on here. Businesses have been affected mainly because of that. So we're hoping things will get better. And let's see, maybe things will get better soon. I look forward to having a conversation with each and every one of you during this meeting. Take care and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you, Tony. Let me move on to David. David, could you please unmute yourself? David Stevens?
Yeah, hi Christian, how you doing?
Good, good.
Hello everybody, I'm David Stevens from Advantage Worldwide in London. Hoping at this time we would be seeing each other face to face, but of course we've got a little thing called a pandemic sort of still in front of us. But yeah, we're still getting through it, as I'm sure you all are. Yeah, looking forward to catching up with people over the next sort of 2 or 3 days, and certainly I like to think this will probably be the last time we'll be doing it virtually and we'll be seeing each other face to face very soon. So yeah, greetings to everybody.
Okay, so thank you very much, David. Let us move on to Karina. Karina, how are you doing? Could you please unmute yourself?
Hi, Chris, and hi, everybody. Thanks for inviting me. I'm from Ecuador, so good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody of you. Well, actually, we are facing the biggest challenge of the world, but this is what the reason of us. So let's invite to everybody to help face this situation, and put the big smile to every opportunity we can face in the world.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Karina. Here's a new face for me, Kay Burgos. Kay, are you there? Can you please unmute yourself and say hi to everyone? Please. The unmute button is on the lower left side. I'm not sure if you see that. Okay, all right. I'll try again later on. How about Mr. Viraj? Oh, sorry. We got Kay Burgos being able to unmute herself. You're able to figure it out? No, okay. All right, let's move on to Viraj. Viraj, how are you doing?
All good. How about you? I hope everybody is safe worldwide. Missing everybody, familiar faces across the globe. Hope to meet you soon, everybody.
All right. Okay, Mr. John from Germany. How do you do? Sorry, John, can you please unmute yourself?
Can you hear me? I hope you can. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, we do now.
Yes. A very warm hello from Germany, from Bremen, via Alexander. Yeah, I skipped the last two meetings. Unfortunately, I had to. So I'm very glad to see all of you now in this virtual conference. But I really hope that we can get together next year, probably in 2 years, so we all can meet in person. So good luck to everyone. Have good conversations in the next 2 days. And thank you very much to you, Christian and Niels, to organize it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Tom Lazaro from Midwest. Could you please unmute yourself and tell us where you're from and which company you represent and how you're doing there?
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Tom Lazaro with Midwest Transatlantic Lines in Cleveland, Ohio, in the U.S. Happy to be here on the virtual meeting with everybody. I'm looking forward to next year to hopefully be able to do this in person. But you know, the situation's the same here in the U.S. with the pandemic, as we're seeing some increases in cases with the new variant, and then. And I think most of us are dealing with the high extreme ocean costs coming out of the Far East. So I wish everybody the best and luck with that. Thank you.
Yeah, that seems to be a common problem. Ocean freight rates and air freight rates going out from Asia or from anywhere in the world, actually. Okay, let's move on to Richard. Richard Chua from Malaysia. Apa kabar? Can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi. Apa khabar? Khabar baik. Hi, everybody. It's 10 p.m. now in Malaysia. Sorry for my very casual wear here. Anyway, like the rest of the country, Malaysia is also facing this COVID pandemic. And we are now Southeast Asia top 3 countries with daily about 20,000 infected. And business has terribly affected. At least we're talking about 40 to 50% of the business. And not only we are facing with COVID pandemic, we are also facing with our change of government. Our Prime Minister has just resigned. Political is also very unstable here in Malaysia. So coupled with the shipping industry now, like everybody knows, we are lack of space in Port Klang, lack of containers, lack of equipment, rate is sky high. So all this are very challenging. 25 years of my logistic industry is one of the most challenging years I have faced. But I'm sure with all these good agents in the CLN network, we will able to go through this. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Nice to be in touch again. Okay, let me move on to Ezgi Tufeki. Is that the right way to say it?
Tufekci. Hello everyone. This is Ezgi from Volantis Logistics, Turkey. And actually in Turkey, things are getting better and most of people vaccinated. And I hope this meeting is our last virtual meeting. We can see each other in real life. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. In fact, actually, Niels was in Turkey, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I guess he was saying that it was a good experience in the airport. But anyway, then let me move on to the next person, Fabiano. Fabiano, how do you do? I think Fabiano is from DMF.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm from Brazil, Fabiano. Nice to see you all. So Brazil is a mess. We can't get containers, we cannot get space for export from Brazil, import into Brazil. It's been tough to work these days, but I think things are getting better, especially when it comes to the virus and the economic. It's a mess right now. Politicians are fighting, but this is our daily things we deal with here in Brazil. So moving on.
Yeah. Okay, how about Sachit? Sachit, how do you do?
Yes, hi buddies. How are you guys doing? Yeah, I'm fine. We are doing better as far as India is concerned. We are coping up better. The vaccination drive is on full scale, but as you all know, India is a large country and huge population. So it will take some time to cover all of us. though most of the major cities and towns are being covered as far as vaccinations are concerned. But the major concern right now is where are the containers? Where are the containers? Huge business opportunities lined up, but the tough call is, do we really have the equipment and the freight skyrocketing, just making it tougher day by day. Hope to see you guys soon, very soon. Not only virtually, but let's have a physical meeting conducted. Take care, guys.
Thank you very much, Sachit. How about Anna Tilea from KPM Logistics? Could you please unmute yourself?
Hi everyone, what an honor. It's my second time at the CLN virtual meeting, and it's a pleasure to see so many faces that I work every day. Hello from Brazil. Even if half of you know that I'm not Brazilian, I represent KPM Logistics, and everyone send a big hug, mainly our managing director that you know so much, Carlos Della Nora. And Brazil is getting better. Actually, we are lucky that all of our team got the first shot of vaccine. And we really hope to meet each other in the next meeting face to face, where we can shake the hands and to hug each other, why not? So be patient. Hope we will get space, everyone, so we can load all our containers and think positive and enjoy the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will call one more last name, Mr. Felipe. How are you doing, Mr. Felipe? Could you please unmute yourself? We can barely hear you actually, Felipe. There seems to be a mic issue. Nope, no, we can't hear you. Let me move on to Gordon.
Right now?
Okay, right now I can hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me? Well, I was training for the beer competition, so it's gonna be for the next year. I don't know. Fortunately, we are just ending the winter. In Argentina, we have a lot of issue with the vaccine, but we are getting through, and the cases are really low at this moment. Actually, almost everything is getting back on normal conditions. Even on the sports, they are planning to open the stadium. So I think from September, maybe October, things are gonna get better. And of course, I miss you, everyone. I'm not used to work this way, virtual way, but it's what we got. Until we meet again, enjoy. I don't know.
Thank you, Felipe. And I called Gordon out already, so let me say hi to him also.
Hey, good afternoon to everyone. Hello. Yeah, nice warm greetings from a typical German summer. Means it's raining outside and 13 degrees. Yeah, anyway, we love to complain, but due to the actual vaccine situation in Germany, which is with 55+% quite okay. So we're expecting less restriction in a couple of weeks. And on the other side, I'm waiting for the next real meeting. Maybe it's TFS in Dubai. Hopefully it will happen. I'm not sure, but I think the people from the expo country will do everything to make it happen. So please stay safe, everyone. I'm happy to see all of you. But one little advice, please check on your face-to-face scheduler app in your own profile to adjust the correct time zone. This will avoid a lot of confusion for your next meeting days. So hope to see you there. Keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you, Gordon. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for everyone that has attended our open community mic. I will pass the mic on to Niels now, who will be moving on with the program.
Niels? Thanks, Christian.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's move ahead and show you the latest news and developments about the CLN in this short video. Please go ahead and roll the video for us. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening again. On behalf of the CLN team, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to our second CLN virtual conference. I also would like to extend our thanks to all the members that have continued to support this amazing community and stand by for one another during these times. Before I begin with the network updates for this year, let me guide you through the agenda for today and the following 2 days. Today's virtual meeting will last as usual about an hour with the following program. We'll have the network updates and the members' introductions afterwards, followed by a 20-minute panel discussion. We will then introduce the CLN desktop intranet to you and the outsourcing and artificial intelligence for forwarders session, as well as a keynote speech about logistics dynamics in the world of COVID-19 by Mark Miller, and following the closing cocktail at the very end. The next 2 days shall be dedicated face-to-face meetings for which you have already scheduled your meetings through our face-to-face app. Your actual meetings will be conducted over Zoom. I'd like to remind you at this stage that you please be on time for your meetings and that you both be ready in front of your computers when your meeting section is happening, so that when the caller calls you, that you can take the call and be ready for your meeting partner. Let's proceed now with the latest news and developments within the network. Currently, the CLN has 314 member stations worldwide from 80 countries, and we're still receiving a lot of interests to join our network. I would like to thank all of you for your continued trust and support to our network. We also would like to welcome our new members since our last virtual meeting. We are grateful for the confidence that you have given to the network. Thank you very much. We kept ourselves busy in developing a vital solution during this time as a means for us to stay close with one another virtually and for our community to continue to grow and foster lasting bonds. As you are aware, the CLN mobile intranet app is ready for your use. It's a great resource for everything in and around the CLN, to check up on your agents, to look up the agency list, to communicate with one another, and to chat on the app directly. We now also have a desktop version that will be available within the next couple of weeks. We also wanted to share with you our new feature on the CLN intranet. You can earn points while exploring and using our CLN intranet application. Accumulate points for every activity inside the app. Every activity has corresponding points that you can earn. So you can like a picture, share a picture, make agent recommendations, and so on. So we recommend you to explore our CLN intranet app, as well as the user leaderboard for everything you do on the app, where you can earn points. It's a fun way to incentivize app usage, as well as we will be announcing some prizes soon for the more active users. Here's a group photo from our last Manila conference in 2019. We are hoping for these days to return, of course, so we can see each other in person again. In relation to that, we're pleased to announce that we'll be hosting the Freight Summit Privé Edition. It's an intimate forwarders conference this coming September 28 to October 1, 2021 at the Grand Hyatt in Dubai. After careful coordination with the hotel, we are confident that we can manage a safe networking program for freight forwarders to get back together. Further details can be found on our freightsummit.com website. Also, we've been actively hosting RW panel discussions every month, inviting freight forwarding friends to join us and talk about relevant topics about the industry. We just finished our recent 2 panel discussions last July 15 and August 5th, and we'll be having our next one September 16. We shall be sending you further announcements. In case you're interested, of course, you're more than welcome to take part in our RW Solutions panel discussions. On the side, we've been productive as well during collaborative videos together with Christian and Melvin from Golden Cargo Services regarding the world of independent freight forwarding and global logistics. In line with that, we wanted to encourage everyone to like, follow, and show some support to the Freight Guys. If you're on Facebook, you can find us there. We have videos that we release every 2 weeks, and those are fun and interesting topics. Once again, thank you for supporting the combined logistics networks. I wish everyone to stay safe and healthy during this time, and I hope that we can meet sooner rather than later. Enjoy the next few days of face-to-face meetings. I hope to see you all soon, and thank you very much again. All right, as you know, we also always like to feature our growing community. So we have asked some of our new CLN members to prepare a brief introduction of their company. So let's watch that here.
Greeting from Eminacop Logistics Company, which is located in Bangkok, Thailand. We are a freight forwarder and sea consolidator who provide complete global logistics solutions with over 10-year experiences. There are more than 130 employees in our organization. Our head office is located in Bangkok. We also have an office at BKK Airport and warehouse service in Bangkok Port. We are a new member in CLN network and would love to build business relationship with other CLN members. So if you have any business from or to Thailand, please do not hesitate to contact us anytime. We would love to have a chance to collaborate with your esteemed company. Thank you for your kind attention.
Hi guys, how are you all doing? My name is Deji from Persam International Nigeria Limited. We are delighted to be part of this great and unique family. Persam International Nigeria was born 2008, and from there we have been doing very well. We are so happy to be part of CNL family, and we're into air freight, sea freight and land freight operations. We'll be happy if you contact us for all your shipment to and from Nigeria. Thank you very much for your time. Hope to see you guys very soon physically. And let's keep on keeping safe. See you guys soon. Cheers to all.
Greetings CLN members. This is Vanessa Bahania, General Manager of Tolepo. Let me briefly introduce you to our company. Tolepo is a company of Torres y Torres Group. We are an expert logistics operator in Ecuador with more than 20 years of experience. Our services are custom broker, freight forwarder, inland transportation with more than 120-ounce vehicles, stowage and storage, warehousing and distribution of goods. In addition, we have an 8 projects divisions where we can handle all kinds of projects, cargo, and special equipment. We are already looking forward to become a strong partners for you in Ecuador. Thank you.
A warm welcome from Share Logistics Germany. My name is Gordon. I will give you a quick introduction about our company. Share Logistics is a worldwide operating logistics provider and based in Hamburg. For our close partners and agents, we offer the full range of logistics solutions like air freight, as in fully IATA agent, ocean freight, including an own NVOCC in our group, bonded and non-bonded warehouse service, 3PL, 4PL, value-added services, FBA and e-commerce handling. Specialized we also on OBC on-board courier hand carry with a specialized partner. Additionally, we can offer you customs clearance, inclusive fiscal representative and a few more. Thanks for listening and see you, bye-bye.
Marhaba from the UAE. It is a great pleasure and honor to submit this video to the second virtual conference organized by the Combined Logistics Network. I am Lakwin on behalf of Frico International based in Dubai. Established in 1983, Frico has grown from strength to strength in the personal effects sector to be the largest players serving the Sri Lankan, Filipino, Indonesian, and Nepali expatriate communities doing the biggest volumes from the UAE. We have since then expanded our services to include packing and removals, trading, GSSA, belly capacity passenger and freighter, commercial clearing and forwarding, air-to-air, and sea-to-air services. Frico prides itself on providing personal, customized solutions to our clients, small or big, individual or corporate. We would like to wish all the participants of the conference a memorable time, and we greatly appreciate the CLN team for organizing this event for all the members to connect and network in these uncertain times. And we certainly look forward to cultivating fruitful relations with our fellow members. Shukran from the Frico team.
Hello all friends, this is Robert, SEO and owner from BDL Logistics Vietnam. We had a 9 year on the market with 2 companies in my group. This is BDL Logistics as international freight forwarding and BDL Trend as a third company. In BDL Logistics, we have 3 offices in Vietnam, his office in Ho Chi Minh, branch in Hanoi, and other branch in Hải Phòng. About BDL Trend, we are the third company in Ho Chi Minh. So our main market is inbound shipment from Euro zones, USA and South America, and about shipment from Vietnam to overseas. If you have any inquiry from to Vietnam, we hope that we can has good cooperation together under win-win together. If you have any inquiries from to Vietnam, please contact with me, Robert from BDL Logistics Vietnam. Thank you and bye-bye.
A very warm welcome once again to all new CLN members. Moving forward to our next segment, we'll now proceed with our panel discussion with some of our CLN members. So first, let me introduce to you our panel speakers. David Stevens, Managing Director of Advantage Worldwide UK Limited. They are our CLN member since 2012. Tony De Oliveira, CEO of Wings Logistics Private Limited from Sri Lanka, our CLN member since 2013. And lastly, Karina Romero, pricing from Tolepu SA Ecuador. They are our new CLN member this year. So to start off with our first question, how do you believe the Delta variant will affect the reopening of the world, and how does the Delta variant affect your current business? If I could start with Karina, please. Again, this is just a personal opinion. Obviously, it's relatively difficult to predict the future, but we'd like just to hear from you, your opinion, and then also your experience, how the current situation affects your business.
Hi everybody, thank you again. Well, it's difficult to see the future unless we have the crystal ball, right? But the rapid spread of Delta variant has clouded the growth outlook. Experts are warning, but it's too soon, I think, to tell how the market will react. For example, while global COVID cases remain relatively low, the number of economies reporting sequence of the Delta variant has climbed, with a growing number now identifies as a domain strain. As everybody knows, Delta variant has been identified in more than 100 countries, so now we should be quite alert. Nonetheless, if economies reopen and allow cases to surge, the economic gains could prove illusory if the new Delta variant provokes major disruption to business and higher cases prompt greater voluntary social distancing. So I think it will depend 100% on everyone. If we allow this Delta variant to have the economy go down again, so everybody will be affected, okay? And in spite of this, I really have high expectations probably for the second Q of 2022, because as you know, carriers are already investing in the purchase of new containers, new ship, etc. But in the meantime, Let's let the crisis make us more creative.
Thank you, Karina. Tony, if I could hear from you.
Basically, in a nutshell, the Delta variant per se, I know will delay opening up the world till at least the end of 2022, if not later. However, what is more relevant is the pace and the extent of the vaccination penetration that would help avoid mutations and other into any other variants that will be introduced into the world, which will affect our day-to-day lives. So suffice to say, it will definitely affect the opening of the world, as I said, till 2022. And let's hope and pray that things will not take longer than that. That's it.
Thanks, Tony. David, what is your take on this?
Yeah, Niels, coming from obviously a UK perspective, we've been going, I think we've had 3 lockdowns, and the latest one after the third lockdown, we've really kind of opened up. The vaccination program has really taken off well, with about 85% coverage, which has allowed us to now open up in terms of stadium, restaurants, bars, and I wouldn't say we're exactly back to normal, but we're not far away from it, which is a positive thing. But what I find fascinating is the right word to use, is that the various stages that I think we're all going through globally, because as soon as somebody or a region opens up, and as I say, we are opening up, you look down to Australia, New Zealand, and they're locking down again, and then the issues in China and with the latest kind of Delta variant sort of cases sort of on the climb. It's incredible. So I don't think we're out of it by any shape or form. But I think, and again, I'm a great advocate for the vaccination program. I know there's a lot of people probably aren't, but it seems to have worked here in the UK, and the economy's growing. The employment market is getting back up to where it was pre-COVID. So all the signs are very good, but in terms of what's around the corner, I have no idea. But I'm more of an optimist by nature, and I do think we're on the right path. And I think globally and economically, we all need to come sort of together and get on the same sort of path. But everybody's at a different stage. But I do think I see some light at the end of the tunnel. I see it, and it's getting closer. So I'm fairly positive and optimistic. But I think, again, regionally in various governments and countries are looking at it from a lockdown point of view and a vaccination program in a different way to others. Whereas I think, it's being on the same page, I think is far better. But as I say, the weekend, we had a full sporting program. The stadiums are open, 60,000 people at the team that I support, without any masks. The vaccination program has obviously helped very well there. So yeah, we're getting there, and we're getting there sort of fairly swiftly, barring any kind of mishap or any kind of additional wave coming through. But I like to think the vaccination program, we're through it in that respect. But again, I'm a positive individual by nature, so we've got to look forward.
Thanks, David. Yeah, I agree with you. I think we need to look for more vaccine equity around the globe in order to be able to have, let me say, a more unified opening. There's, a lot of countries that are going through very difficult times right now, and it seems that vaccines are the answer to a global reopening. So let's hope we can get this rolled out by setting up more factories to produce more vaccines and get it distributed and get it out there to everyone. Absolutely. So yeah, until then, I think we got to do our part to be supportive as much as we can in this situation. I'd like to move on to our second question, which goes to the heart of everyone and every freight forwarder here today. How do you manage air freight and sea freight space situation in current times? Maybe we can start with Tony.
Okay. As you said, it is a hot question right now amongst everybody. Actually, the space is there, but at a price. Say, example, off the cuff, for a 40-foot container from Chittagong to the UK is going around 15 to 20,000 US dollars. So that explains it all. So hence of this reason, the way we manage is an open book pricing with an agreed markup with our customers. That's what we're doing right now. The good thing is, of course, that the big players and their service contracts have been probably thrown out by the liners, and it all boils down now to who has the better local rapport with the line, and of course who pays the right price. So at this pricing level, actually, I can see that it will be feasible for smaller lines to operate services either on liner terms or charters. As I'm told, presently some of the freight companies are chartering 15,000 to 20,000 TEU vessels to move some of their freight. So that is how it goes. Air freight, of course, is the same. There again, it's a matter of price and how much contact you have with the relevant parties in your particular country. As for Sri Lanka, that's how we operate, and I hope things will get better as we go along. And let's hope our prices will be more realistic so that our country will be able to export our goods and import our goods at prices that are reasonable, where the end customers don't have to bear the brunt of all the costs. That's it for me.
Thanks, Tony. Yes, this is definitely something that we can all see in the supermarkets and in retails right now, where prices are doubling or tripling at an ever increasing rate, and delivery times also have been delayed substantially over the last few months. So there's definitely a lot of issues that are affecting the end consumer. David, how do you see your air freight and sea freight space there in the UK?
Yeah, well, I'd say how we manage it with great difficulty, I think, is probably the right way to explain it. Again, what Tony has said there, the costs are through the roof. But I'm a bit suspicious, a bit of a cynic when it comes to, when Maersk and CMA and the likes are punching, 3.4 billion profits for the first half of the year. It kind of sort of makes you think and makes you wonder whether they're doing enough to correct what is happening. And it's not. I think it's congestion is the issue. I think the space is there, but it's congestion. It's the equipment's all in the wrong place, and I don't think they're really kind of sort of moving it around as quickly as what they should do. That's the ocean lines. Air freight aside, again, costs have gone through the roof. And I think that is down to space, because the passenger airlines have obviously cut back incredibly so because of movement from the point of view in terms of passengers over the last year or 18 months. But that's not to say the ocean lines really should have, I think, can do a lot more than what they're doing. And again, this is my point of view. And I think what kind of has happened here as well, certainly from an ocean point of view, and certainly from a UK perspective, is that when we had the lockdowns last year, nobody realized that when you put in 2 million, 3 million, 4 million workers or whatever we had a furlough scheme over here, so they're getting paid by the government a certain amount of their salary. But what people were doing, they were just buying online. As much as they're locked down, they're buying online. So come September, October last year, there was a spike in terms of demand, and space wasn't there, and that's air as well as ocean. And of course, it's then various countries were locking down, ports were getting congested, and so on. So they're all in the wrong place, and I think the lines themselves could have done a bit more. And I'd like to hear other comments on that as well, because again, it's purely my opinion. Maybe I'm being suspicious of them, but when you're paying $20,000, like Tony said, $20,000 to get a high cube in from Shanghai, and then you've got a container, as in a haulage or a trucking shortage when it arrives, it's delayed at the port, another 5 days on that, and additional costs. There's a lot of companies out there are not quick to find a solution to these issues, and I'm suspicious of their motives in that respect. So it's tough, but we're getting there. But we as a company it's an incredibly busy period for us, incredibly busy, and has been for this year, which is great. But I think it's busy because of a few of the issues that I've just described there as well. But yeah, we're getting through it. But yeah, and again, Maersk had just issued a press report saying that don't expect any kind of normality until the middle of next year, and that's it won't ever get back to certainly from a rate point of view, they're not expecting it to get back to sort of pre-COVID levels, if ever. So I think there's a real shift in the market in that respect. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But as long as we keep smiling, I think we're going to be good. And we adapt, don't we, in that respect? And our customers will. But one thing I will say, if I could just mention, is that there is a bit of a sting in the tail because commodity prices, as we all know, are going up and will go up because of what they're having to, pay. The consumers having to pay now. So inflation will rise. Therefore, interest rates may have to do the same thing in terms of controlling it. So that's going to be something around the corner that we may have to deal with. But again, I'm sure we'll deal with it.
That's right.
But, yeah, that's my point of view.
Thanks, David. Karina, how is the situation in Ecuador with your air freight space and sea freight space?
Well, I think this is one of the biggest challenge that all the foreign trade industry is facing now. As Tony said, space has a price, okay? But nowadays in Ecuador, and also we have seen it in all European countries and also in North America and in Asia, that even paying a high price will not guarantee space. So this is so chaotic for this shipping industry that we have to be creative to search for new options. I'm convinced, for example, that planning is a key. However, we in Ecuador, as logistic operators, are still struggling to have our customers being conscious about the importance of planning. And it's not just with 2 or 3 weeks in advance as in the past. Nowadays, we are talking about a waiting time of 1 month in the best case, or inclusive 2 months, depending on the continent of origin or the type of shipment. Also, when we talk about loading a big lot of containers, could be considered like a memory of the past. Nowadays, if you have a lot of 20 or 30 containers, the carriers say, I have to split the shipment because they don't have enough equipment, they don't have enough space. So we have to have our customer again to replan, to make a replanning of their purchase orders. And also, for example, when we import goods from South America, we are also checking another mode of transportation, not only the sea freight or air freight, but also the international land transportation. This is another option that have worked for our customers in Ecuador. Trucking is another big problem at origin, especially at the US or in other European origins, because they have, for example, rail combined trucking services, but customers need to look for another truck service to pay probably 2 or 3 times more the price to get a truck. And we're also waiting for 1 month to have 1 truck ready. In addition to this, but not less important, I strongly believe that working the relationships, not only with customers, but also with our current suppliers is quite important for our business.
All right, thank you, Karina. That was certainly interesting. And there's a lot of similarities there that I can see across all the various countries and continents, the way it seems right now. Another issue that we have all gone through, I guess, at some point or at some stage in the last 15 or 17 months was working remotely, working from home. Do you still work from home currently, or do some of your staff in your company work from home? And do you believe that we will continue to work from home in the future to some extent? Karina, maybe you can continue since we had you there.
Yeah, absolutely. For example, at my work, whose staff is about 500 people, we are combining remote work with office work with success. It's like we have 70% office work and 30% remote work, and then we interchange. And it totally works. Why? It's quite important for companies to invest in high technology to have this new normal work. Okay, our customers, well, I don't know, but Ecuadorian customers are very strict. Okay, it's a very competitive market. So in order to be competitive in this new normal, the market needs to have the information updated 24 hours to have a WhatsApp message reply, whatever time it is. Okay, even it's 10 p.m., but now in Hong Kong is 10 a.m. Okay, but we need to have an answer. And we have to chat with via WeChat with our agents at China to can get a space confirmation. So it's like a new normal, but it works if the company has already invested in high technology. And regarding other industries such as agriculture, food commodities production, it's certainty that remote control will not apply for those kind of industries, but for the complementation of the business, it would apply, and it's already working. For example, in food commodities, when you have online purchase, delivery, every day people are making orders via online. And that's why I strongly believe that remote control will continue.
All right. Thank you, Karina. David, how do you handle remote work? Do you still do that out of the UK right now?
You know what? We do. We as a company don't. It's very rare. Maybe the sales guys will do that, but I might upset a few people here because I encourage people to get back into the workplace as soon as they're able, because and my reason for that is that we're social creatures, social animals. We need to interact, and I much prefer that with the staff that we have, and equally the bigger picture here is that there's a huge sub-economy that survives and thrives around office workers. That could be coffee shops, it could be sandwich bars, it could be local restaurants, whatever it may be. These people are out there that need support from the office workers that are out there. I'm a huge advocate and a huge supporter of that. But equally, I do understand that there's a need for a lifestyle balance. So if you can split that sort of during the course of the week, maybe 3 and 2 or something along those lines, then I guess I'm fine with that. But as much as I love a virtual conference like this, I prefer meeting people face to face and shaking hands and hugs and all this kind of stuff and greeting people, because that's the way we are. And I think that's the way that we've survived for 1,000 years or plus. It literally is as simple as that. But so to lock, I wouldn't say lock people up, but ask people to work from home and work remotely all of the time, I don't think it is healthy entirely. And again, that's my opinion, but I could ask my daughter. She's had the experience of working remotely and enjoying every minute of it. So I don't know whether it's a younger thing or not entirely, but I'm a great supporter of getting people back in. And we locked down, so we had some people working from home purely from a numbers point of view, but we made the facility COVID safe in various different ways. And as soon as people could come back in, they came back in because they wanted that interaction. And I think that's important. You can talk to people face to face on a screen like we're doing now, but you'll never replace the face to face kind of meetings. Sure. Communication sort of channels in that respect. So yeah, to answer your question, it's been quite long, but to answer your question, it will continue, but I'm an advocate of getting people back as soon as I can.
Thanks, David. And Tony, how about you in Sri Lanka? How does I'm assuming you guys are doing remote work right now? Sorry, we can't hear you, Tony.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, we do have remote work at the moment. And for me personally, unlike my good, young, old-fashioned English friend, for his comments just now, we believe in, it makes economic sense for us to work on a hybrid model. So technically, I believe that, and I anticipate that the hybrid work environment with some workers in the office and the others continuing to work from home is going to be something that will go on many years into the future. So only thing I have with regard to this is that with this model, it is very important that we ensure that we employ or we have key person dependencies, monitoring and making sure that the people who are working from remote areas are doing the job properly, which is something we are doing ourselves as a company, where, I mean, in a nutshell, we have someone who is specifically looking into the fact that if some ABC are working from home and another 4 in the office is fine, those people have to clock in at a particular time and log out at a particular time. And if they're working and if they're not doing certain things, then there have to be a reason for it. So these are little things that you have to tweak around as we go. But unless, of course, if you can't afford to hire any particular person to do that, then the next best thing is by hiring additional backup resources if needed, and then kind of bring on a reliable services provider with a proven track record and expertise who can monitor these type of things to ensure that the hybrid model works. I know it does work, and I am also for what David said with regard to the support services that require, like the coffee shops and the guys down the road who need some kind of assistance. Yes, I believe in that for sure. But at the same time, I think it's important that we strike a life-work balance. And there's no better time for it than now. That's it for me.
That's a good way to conclude it, Tony. Thank you very much. At this stage, I'd also like to conclude the panel discussion as we've gone a little bit over the time limit. Thank you very much, Tony, David, and Karina for participating in this panel discussion and for your very valuable insight this morning, evening, or nighttime.
Thank you very much.
I hope we can have these types of discussion going forward in person. I certainly do prefer to do these things in person as well. Going on to our next segment, we will take a 5-minute break. So please stay tuned as we still have a couple more videos to show you, as well as a keynote presentation in the end, followed by our closing cocktail closing remarks. Thank you. Please stay tuned. Have a 5-minute break, and I'll see you very shortly. All right, welcome back. I just managed to make myself a new coffee. So moving on to the next segment, we would like to present and showcase to you our new virtual solutions that we have created over the last few years, last few months. As you know, we've developed a new CLN scheduler application, which is also available as a desktop program. In here, as Gordon already mentioned earlier, just a reminder, please make sure that you select the right time zone for yourself. So if you're based in the UK or if you're based in London, please choose the London time zone for your profile. If you're based or working out of Dubai, please select the UAE or Dubai as the time zone selector. You can simply enter the name of the city and it'll actually choose the right time zone for you. Anyway, we have developed also a CLN intranet application, as well as a desktop application or desktop version for this application now, and we've prepared a short video for this, so please have a look at it. And we always encourage you to use the intranet to look up on your agents or to check the agency list and to have a chat with your other agents as well.
Welcome to our intranet desktop edition. During the pandemic, we released our intranet mobile version, not knowing that business would be done from the computer again. We thought that the world was constantly traveling all over the world and everything had to be mobile. But we were wrong. The desktop was mainstream again, and people worked either at home or on the office computer again. This is why we decided to extend our mobile intranet to the desktop, for the ones that like to access their agency list and keep in touch with partners right from their desks. With all original functionalities from our network directory to our messaging system and more, you can socialize with partners, keep up to date with the latest network news, and keep track of the latest events to take part of. The recently launched social leaderboard will keep track of your network engagement. The more you share content and engage with others, the more points you get. For more details, inquire with our network administrator so that we can set you up and get you going now. See you in the new intranet desktop edition so we can keep in touch with partners worldwide at all times.
Okay, great. Thank you, Christian. I think the desktop version will be released in the coming weeks, 1 or 2 weeks. We are just in the final stages of trial. So we're just making sure that everything is working out smoothly there. Moving on, we would like to introduce our outsourcing project and artificial intelligence for forwarders for you. This is a particularly interesting segment. As you know, during the pandemic, a lot of new technologies have been introduced. And as well as remote working has been introduced into our, or forcefully introduced into our industries. So we'd like to share with you how you can benefit from logistics outsourcing and what it is all about. So we've prepared this short segment for you.
How will logistics companies run their business in the future? When the pandemic forced logistics companies to work from home, it created the opportunity to study how we run our business. From hiring people, what tasks they were supposed to do, and how it affected our costs. Labor and office rent in modern countries can be so expensive that it can eat up your profits. Even suppliers will try to fool you by overbilling their services. And if these are left unchecked, costs pile up. But does it really make sense to spend valuable management time on things that don't bring you business? Now that companies have learned to work remotely, you can practically have teams work from anywhere. And if you can work from anywhere, then you can hire from anywhere too. And when you can hire from anywhere, why not hire the best the world has to offer? This is how we came to the idea to help logistics companies by offering an outsourced support service where you can hire staff, host them in our office, and manage your business automation needs all in one place. The leading destination for business process outsourcing is The Philippines has all the elements that make it a great place to run your business in. People here speak good English, are constantly on the internet, well-educated, and are young. So young that the average age here is 25 years old. Not only can we handle clerical work, but we also have the skills of the future. Skills like cargo-wise team management and automation by using artificial intelligence. Skills that every logistics company will need to manage their business to keep costs low and automate their processes so that no bill will go unchecked. For us to stay ahead of the game, we need to embrace change with the right people, the right processes, and the right place. So don't waste time on managing people and outdated processes. Spend it on growing your business. The future logistics companies will be run by people willing to change now and change fast.
Okay, thank you. Now, there have been several statements made about artificial intelligence. So this is a solution that we would like to show you in this 5-minute video. It is going into the future a little bit and shows you how work can be automated at the office for certain tasks. So let's take a look at that.
Welcome to the Logistics AI platform. Today we're going to show you how Logistics AI automates data extraction, reconciliation, and data entry into the CargoWise system. Data extraction. We begin by uploading any invoice document that you'd like to extract. In this case, let's try extracting data from a steamship line invoice that the AI has never encountered before. With a click of a button, we now have the exact line items and precise data points we need. As you can see, Logistics AI was able to extract the correct invoice number, date, due date, reference number, HBL number, container number, voyage number, vendor details, and line items. Now that we have the right descriptions, costs, and currencies available, Logistics AI can do charge code mapping on CargoWise based on the various charge descriptions in the document. Logistics AI is able to match a particular charge code with the charge description on its own after training. In this case, the bunker surcharge is represented in CargoWise by the charge code BAF. Reconciliation. Now that we've shown you data extraction, we're going to show you how we automate data reconciliation versus the CargoWise system. On the invoice, we were charged 6 line items. However, the CargoWise data only accrued 5 line items based on our expected cost. Here's how we automatically reconcile any discrepancies for you. Once we click the Reconcile Invoice button, the expected data from CargoWise will pop up. From there, any discrepancies will be flagged instantly. Users also have full visibility on this through our Exceptions Manager tab. In this scenario, Logistics AI immediately flagged the totals that did not match up. We were expecting $1,869, but were billed $1,892 instead. From there, we were able to flag the exact line item that caused the discrepancy. In this case, the overbilling was caused by a $22 additional charge in the invoice. And that's how we automate data reconciliation on the Logistics AI platform. Connect. Now that we've shown you how we automate data reconciliation with the CargoWise system, we're going to demonstrate how Logistics AI automates data entry into the CargoWise platform. To recap, the CargoWise data shows that we expected 5 line items, but we were billed 6 line items due to an additional $22 cargo facility charge. Here on CargoWise, we can see the expected 5 line items. What we're going to do is simply send the data to CargoWise, and once that's been sent, we are now able to check CargoWise again. So we are going to open up the platform, head on over to billing, and there you go. We now have the cargo facility charge entered instantly. Insight. After demonstrating automatic data extraction, reconciliation, and data entry into CargoWise, let us show you how we aggregate all this data into actionable insight for forwarders. This time, we'll be sharing an arrival notice dashboard that we've built for our customers. I'd like to bring your attention to this dashboard that shows the discrepancies from vendor invoices. For this scenario, we see that the Freight Patrol was able to catch over $60,000 worth of discrepancies with Logistics AI. The two key features of this particular setup is that our customers can easily see which arrival notices are ready to be paid within the next 5 days. They can simply open it up and find all the invoices that are ready for payment. Alongside this, our clients can also review and prioritize the arrival notices that have discrepancies. In this case, we would prioritize the arrival notices that have high discrepancies, such as these ones that have over $9,000 and $3,000 in discrepancies that will be reviewed immediately. In addition to these features, our clients are also able to drill down into particular data sets. For example, in order to find out which invoices are creating the discrepancies, we'll only need to look into the arrival date to get answers.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for your attention on this topic. Now we'd like to move on to our final presentation or keynote presentation for the day before we end the program. This is a keynote presentation from Mark Miller, whom you might be very familiar with. He always attends our events and has always very interesting presentations, very engaging presentations about the logistics industry. And today he will be talking about the logistics dynamics in the world of COVID-19, which is a continuation of the previous video he has done and explores a little bit the future also about the dynamics in the world of COVID-19. Please roll this keynote presentation.
Hi, this is Mark Miller, keynote speaker and author of the book Global Supply Chain Ecosystems. I'm pleased to share with you my insights about logistics dynamics in the world of COVID-19. Logistics underpins the global economy. Logistics is the glue that connects, enables, and empowers the global supply chain ecosystems that put food on our tables, clothes on our backs, smartphones in our pockets, and medical supplies in our hospitals. A $10 trillion US industry that employs hundreds of millions of workers worldwide. The business of logistics is the logistics of business. As COVID-19 wreaked havoc on communities and economies around the world, supply chain risks were brutally exposed. Trade flows became severely disrupted, and the transport of goods became extremely challenging. Logistics is a people-centric business, so coronavirus restrictions have harshly impacted all types of logistics activities. COVID lockdowns trapped people at home. They couldn't get to work. Transport limitations made it difficult for people to travel to work. Social distancing rules restricted what people could do when they were at work. And of course, border closures impeded the international movement of goods. These COVID restrictions limited the availability of labor in warehouses and container ports, and further exacerbated the shortage of truck drivers, which in turn led to delays and congestion throughout global supply chains, coupled with massive, unprecedented disruption to the global logistics sector. Let's explore these logistics dynamics in the world of COVID-19. In sea freight, the shipping lines were very quick to respond, initially idling capacity, then they forcefully limited supply using ad hoc cancellations of scheduled services. This is known as blank sailings. As COVID spread unevenly around the world, the volatility of freight flows completely upset the traditional balance between supply and demand. Delays and congestion throughout the supply chain resulted in shipping containers being in use much longer than normal, thereby delaying the return of empty containers back into the system, resulting in the worldwide shortage of shipping containers. These challenges in sea freight were then further compounded by the complete blockage of the all-important Suez Canal for almost 1 week. The loss of equilibrium in the container shipping sector has resulted in significantly higher freight rates, which are likely to continue through to next year and well beyond. Shipping lines are now engaged in active capacity management, helping many of them return to healthy profits, no doubt much welcomed in this capital-intensive sector, notorious for its boom-bust cycles. In warehousing, the huge fluctuations in consumer demand, together with the postponement or cancellation of production orders, put severe strains on warehousing capacity around the world. COVID-19 vividly exposed the profound interdependencies in today's global supply chains and will redefine the warehousing sector over the medium term. As supply chain resilience moves to the top of the priority list, inventory will no longer be perceived as evil. Many of the finely tuned lean and just-in-time industrial systems will be replaced or supplemented with business models that incorporate buffer inventories and safety stocks. This will result in the need for ever more warehouse space to store the additional inventory, involving both larger warehouses and more warehouses. Other coronavirus dynamics include an increase in the outsourcing of warehouse operations to third-party logistics providers, which will result in a greater adoption of multi-user warehousing and in turn drive the need for more warehouses. In air freight, the widespread grounding of passenger planes also removed their belly hold space, which is used to transport cargo, thereby very abruptly eliminating almost 50% of global air freight capacity. Freighter airlines and charter operators experienced a much welcomed renaissance at shockingly expensive rates, as top priority was given to urgent needs for PPE equipment and medical supplies. Several airlines used their passenger planes to carry freight, with packages of products strapped into the seats. Some carriers went one step further and actually removed all the seats, enabling the whole passenger deck to be utilized for cargo. Whatever the creative solutions offered by the airlines, the cost of air freight has rocketed to record high levels. These high rates will continue for some time because the International Air Transport Association predict that air travel will not fully recover until year 2024. So belly hold cargo space will remain severely constrained. In the meantime, the specialist aircraft conversion companies are enjoying a surge in orders for older passenger planes to be transformed into freighter aircraft. Through the short term, we can expect these rather chaotic logistics dynamics to continue. However, over the medium to long term, perhaps the most enduring logistics dynamics of COVID-19 will arise from the post-pandemic reconfiguration of global trade. Striving to increase resilience and reduce interdependencies, companies will be deploying supply chain diversification and nearshoring strategies such that by year 2025, we can expect a much different landscape, one that is oriented more towards regional supply chains. This regional approach will result in shorter supply chains that increase control, responsiveness, and resilience, whilst also reducing lead times, transport costs, and emissions. The logistics dynamics of these regional supply chains will be felt in three key areas: less miles, more moves, and modal shifts. Firstly, less miles. As intra-regional trade flows increase, the logistics dynamics of these shorter supply chains are that cargo movements will tend to involve shorter distances, as the goods will have less miles to travel. This results in more short-haul carriage at the expense of long-haul transport, which has consequences for the logistics industry, in particular for the intercontinental freight forwarding sector. Secondly, more moves. In this shifting globalization landscape, incorporating nearshoring and onshoring initiatives, the reconfigured shorter supply chains will also mean more moves due to the increased amount of domestic freight movements. Research by Stifel found that when products are manufactured domestically, there are 4 times as many in-country freight journeys compared to when products are imported from overseas. 4 times as many. Great news for local logistics providers. And thirdly, modal shifts. The shorter distances involved in intra-regional trade will also diminish the relative speed advantage of fast and expensive air freight over slower, cheaper sea freight. Within a regional supply chain, the difference in door-to-door transit times for sea freight versus air freight is likely to be just a few days, as opposed to a few weeks in an intercontinental supply chain. We can therefore expect modal shifts, whereby some cargoes traditionally transported by air will, in the context of a regional supply chain, migrate to the much more economical sea freight alternative. The logistics dynamics arising from these reconfigured supply chains will offer more options for ground-based freight transport networks. Many regional supply chains will encompass large contiguous land masses, such as in Western Europe, North America, and much of the Asia-Pacific region. In these cases, economical ground-based freight transport options such as trucking and rail freight will increasingly come into play as competitive, cost-effective alternatives to traditional air or sea freight. This is particularly applicable where there are low-friction internal borders, which are typically enabled by preferential trade agreements, such as the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement, or within the European Union, and also in the recently completed China-led Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which links 15 economies across Asia. Talking of ground freight options, the COVID crisis has reinvigorated interest in the new Silk Railroad, which now connects 70 Chinese cities by rail to over 40 cities across 19 countries in Europe. An intermediate option between fast but expensive air freight and cheap but slow sea freight, this long-haul rail freight alternative can transport cargo from China into Europe in just 12 to 17 days, saving at least 2 weeks off the typical sea freight transit time of 35 days, whilst being considerably cheaper than air freight. China Railway is now operating over 1,000 freight trains per month into Europe, representing a 70% year-on-year increase in services. This rail freight option is particularly relevant for manufacturing output produced by China's inland factories, which are located far away from the export gateway container ports on the eastern seaboard. In conclusion, let me summarize the logistics dynamics in the world of COVID-19. The short term will be characterized by market volatility. Air freight capacity will remain severely limited and very expensive. Sea freight uncertainties will continue, intensified by blank sailings, container shortages, port congestion issues, and high freight rates. Over the medium term, we expect a significant increase in demand for warehousing as inventory levels increase throughout the extended supply chain. However, over the medium to long term, the greatest COVID impact on logistics dynamics will come from the inevitable reconfiguration of global supply chains towards a much more regionalized approach, resulting in less miles, more moves, and modal shifts, whilst increasing opportunities for ground-based road and rail freight transport networks. Through to year 2025, the next normal dynamics of regional trade, localized production, and shorter supply chains will represent both challenges and opportunities for logistics freight transport companies, who will need to adapt accordingly in order to survive and thrive, because logistics is what facilitates trade and commerce around the world.
All right, thank you very much for joining our second CLN virtual conference. It was a pleasure to have you with us today, and I hope that you have been able to take away something interesting during this presentation, or the various presentations that we've had today. To officially end our program, we will have a quick survey. I would appreciate your quick comments on that as well. We have also prepared a very short, or I want to share with you one of our videos that we have done with the freight guys, as I've mentioned earlier. This one is specific to the recent travels that I took to Dubai 2 weeks ago. It will show you the various steps that are needed to be taken in order to travel relatively stress-free in today's times. As you know, we will be having the Freight Summit conference end of September in Dubai, an in-person event actually. And we are also toying with the idea to hold a CLN in-person event early next year instead of Thailand. We are not yet sure how Thailand will be doing in terms of its COVID challenges, or the Asian region as such as a whole. So Dubai being open and being relatively safe also means we are able to conduct a conference there in a great environment as well. So we are currently toying with the idea, and we will be waiting on the outcome after the Freight Summit event to share a little bit more on how it all went. So please have a look at this 3-minute entertaining video that I took myself on my trip to Dubai.
How many virtual meetings have you had in the last 15 months? You lost track? Are you Zoom fatigued already?
Welcome to the Freight Guys. Our channel covers all things about freight and logistics.
Many industries were quick to shift to virtual meetings, including forwarding networks that are holding all their meetings online. This has worked well for many, no doubt. But we all agree virtual events will never replace in-person meetings. As social beings, the drive for human connection has never been stronger. That's the reason we have been busy looking to find a place where forwarders can meet in person this year. There is one city that we can meet and exceed all the expectations of the traveling forwarder. A city that allows unrestricted meetings, yet where all safety protocols are in place for safe and successful in-person events. Can you guess where? Welcome to Dubai! Let me share my travel experience to Dubai with you. All airlines to Dubai require passengers to produce a negative PCR test within 72 hours of departure. In my case, if you have a connecting flight, the test needs to be 72 hours prior to the last connecting flight. We also recommend that you're fully vaccinated, of course, although it's not a requirement to enter Dubai. It's also important to have adequate travel insurance. If you fly with Emirates, travel insurance is already included in your ticket. Now pack your bags and you are ready to go. I flew with Turkish, who are, by the way, an excellent airline, with a fantastic new airport in Istanbul. Yes, it was busy in Istanbul and business as usual, it seemed. Upon landing in Dubai, everyone will be subject to an arrival PCR test. It's fast and it's free, and results will be sent to you via SMS within 4 hours. You are then required to go to your hotel and wait for your results. Armed with your negative PCR test results, you are free to roam the city, from the beautiful hotel swimming pools and beaches to the stunning skyline. Busy malls and fancy restaurants, it's all there waiting for you. Dubai's population has been fully vaccinated and is on its way to schedule third booster shots to add another layer of protection for everyone. For maximum convenience, the Grand Hyatt Hotel is providing an in-house PCR test for my return journey and results provided within 24 hours. As you can appreciate, Dubai is particularly well prepared as they will be hosting the 2020 World Expo from October 1 onwards for 6 months and are expecting 25 million visitors from all over the world. This is why we have decided to host the world's first forwarding conference right here. It's time that we take the lead to get back to normal. It's time that we get back together in person and renew our partnerships and friendships. Join me at the Freight Summit Privé in Dubai to re-establish connections and to refresh our outlook into a promising future.
All right, that's it for us and from us here today. Thank you very much again for joining, and I do appreciate you taking time off your very busy schedules, and I do hope to see you in person very soon. Thank you, everybody.